Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes Podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Haygood. We are joined today by CEO of the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy, Angie Shearer, to talk about protecting the preserve, building community through stewardship, and why the Sonoran Desert really is the heartbeat of Scottsdale. But first, let's check in with our sponsor, Sean Shackleton of the Shackleton Group. Buying and selling a home can be frustrating and stressful, but Sean Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here to change that. With 26 years of expertise and a true understanding of today's market, Sean works tirelessly to get you the home you deserve. She really has her finger on the pulse of the different Scottsdale neighborhoods and knows the community well. Don't settle for less and get stuck in confusion. Reach out to Sean at 480-734-7277 or visit theshackletongroup.com and make your next move a winning one. Today's episode is all about one of Scottsdale's most treasured assets, the McDowell Sonoran Preserve, and the people working every day to protect it for the future generations. I'm sure you've seen them out there with their famous blue shirts we all have. So I'm excited to welcome Angie Shearer, the new CEO of the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy. Angie's originally from South Bend, Indiana, but has called the Sonoran Desert home for nearly 20 years, with a career deeply rooted in the nonprofit world and philanthropy. After 2 decades of helping organizations grow through fundraising and community support, she stepped into this role in December of 2025, bringing her passion for people, preservation, and purpose that feels like the perfect fit. So working alongside the City of Scottsdale, the Conservancy helps really steward more than 30,500 acres of preserved land, the largest in the nation. And that's really 1/3 of the entire city. So when you're complaining about no housing, remember there's a reason, and we're not going to change that, hopefully. We maintain over 225 miles of trails. I guarantee my husband has run all of them, used by hundreds and thousands of residents each year. We've heard about it from other guests, and that's what really brings tourists in for all these events that we have during Scottsdale season. So today we're going to talk about how the Conservancy began, why science and stewardship matter, and how every one of us can really play a role in protecting our famous treasured desert. So welcome. I feel like I just said so much. I'll still have questions for you, believe it or not. And congratulations on the new job. We're a few months in, but it sounds like this is really for you. Before we begin, are you an Indiana fan? Should I say congrats?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, congrats on the big win.
Absolutely.
Putting Indiana on the map for something, I feel like.
Go Hoosiers. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Yes, we were all rooting for them. And yes, everybody in my hometown of South Bend, Indiana, all my classmates, we are all celebrating.
I bet. Listen, but before we get off, I'm an Ole Miss fan, so the fact that we made it this far, the same, right? Like, no one believes in it or who. So I'm with you. Congratulations on the win. But let's talk about this, the Sonoran Preserve and how it partners with the City of Scottsdale, because it really is an intertwined thing that makes the city so beautiful.
Absolutely. We wouldn't be here without them, right? Like it's interconnected. We work together seamlessly. I actually see them on a regular basis. So the City of Scottsdale and the people really own the land, and we go in and do the services. So we make sure that the wildlife, the plants, everything is thriving, because that's how you know that the land is good, right? So that we have scientists on our staff that go in and we sit there and we do experiments.
You're so excited about this. I love it.
Yes. And then we have a team of stewards, which is our volunteers. There's 200 of them in the citizen science program that work with our scientists and the city to do these to make sure that the preserve is healthy.
And is it right now?
Absolutely it is. Yes.
Talk about what you've seen in the past. I know you're kind of new, but you've been here long enough that we've had some worries or some things that weren't maybe a healthy preserve time.
Yeah. So, we always have to watch out for drought, fires, like those are your big ones, but it's also the animal populations.
Okay.
And then a few years back, like the swallows, like they were suffering. So like what is going on? So we'll run experiments around there and research around there to see what it is and how we can help. Our biggest, enemy, honestly, is the invasive plants, because that's what spreads like crazy. And then when it's dry over the summer, that's where your wildfires will come in.
Yeah.
And it, they dry out, and that's what makes them accelerate. It's like putting gas on the fire, and that's what makes them spread so rapidly.
Not fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about you. What brought you into this role after everything you've done for the community and been here for so many decades? What was appealing to you to become the new CEO?
It's interesting. This is my first CEO role, actually.
Oh.
So I've worked my way up. So I've been a vice president, an associate vice president, a director. So that's really, it was an honor. They reached out to me and asked me to apply for this role. And so, of course, I had to. I love nature. I love the desert. I love animals. I love plants. So it was all in line. My heritage, I come from a family of farmers. So this is definitely, it's in my wheelhouse. And I've done human services for a very long time, which is important, but you get burned out after a while. And so I just wanted to be surrounded by something beautiful. And what's more beautiful than the preserve?
The preserve is it, if I may be mistaken, is it the largest in the nation?
Yeah,
Okay.
the largest urban preserve in the nation.
Which is crazy to me.
Yes.
Talk about how that puts Scottsdale on the map, and talk about why it's so important that we saved 1/3 of Scottsdale for this conservancy.
Yeah, I mean, it would be all housing developments, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, and you can see it when you're out there. When you're hiking, you can see exactly where that line is because you see all the houses around there. But you have to save part of it for the history, for the culture, so that we know where we were to know where we want to go. But this is for our future generations. Like, they want to be able to go out and hike and understand what was here before we were, before all these developments and housing and restaurants. This is what the land looked like. These are the animals that were here. So this is our history, and that's why it's so important.
I love your enthusiasm. Like, everything, you just have a constant smile. You love it. You can tell the passion's behind it. What are some things that we can do? You talk about the stewardship program. There's 200, how many stewards?
So the 200 are just in the citizen science program.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Though.
So
talk about the stewardship program and the different divisions, I guess you could say, or programs that you could be involved in.
Yeah. So the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy has 8 different programs that the stewards can be involved in. And the stewards they're machines, right? They're all volunteers. A lot of them are retired. They take this very seriously. So you can do anything from doing construction and maintenance on the trails, trailhead ambassadors, so that you're welcoming everybody to the trails. You're helping them pick out whatever, hike they want to do that day. We do guided hike and bike. So if you're not comfortable or you have a very bad sense of direction, like I do, which is so bad.
Follow the blue dot, and sometimes I won't even do that. It's fine.
Right. So you can go on a guided hike, and so you can just enjoy it and go with your friends. It's free. You just sign up. You go to our website. You see what the topic is, and you can just enjoy and have somebody else take you through the preserve, depending on if you want to go in the north or south. We offer them everywhere. So you can go on a hike. You can go on a bike as well.
Yeah.
Those are guided as well, so those are fun. We have community education. You can go to a lecture. So all of these are put on by volunteers.
Crazy.
They organize it themselves. They teach each other. They know the history because they've looked it up. They've studied it. And then the citizen science is its own animal. Like, the research they do, you have to take a test and pass it in order to, go into that.
I love just seeing them. I don't need it. It's fine.
Yeah. And I'm going through the badge. It's called badging. I'm
Okay.
going through the badging process right now myself because I started mid-December, and I was like, I'm going to be an official steward. I
have
cannot
to
be a CEO and not be a
I'm
steward.
with you.
Yeah. So this morning I was actually going through one of the trainings, and it's desert safety. They teach you CPR. They teach you what to do in case, because heat exposure is very
huge.
Yeah, it's a relevant topic. So if somebody passes out, what do you do? When do you call the police or the fire department? Like, if somebody gets hurt, what do you do? So it's a very thorough training, and people feel so empowered after doing and going through all of these different things to then get out there and help take care of our visitors, our tourists, our locals. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Scottsdale season right now, so it's super busy. I'm sure that the trails are even busier than normal. Talk about how you protect the tourists, because let's be honest, they're the ones that are showing up with a water bottle of 12 ounces trying to go on a 5-mile hike, with a hangover, thinking that they're going to make it, not realizing what the desert truly is, kind of thing.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so hilarious. So that's what our trailhead ambassadors are there for. So they work in shifts. You'll see them out there in their blue shirts. They'll ask you, what are you thinking? How long of a hike are you thinking? They'll notice, kind of your demeanor.
Yeah.
If they need to keep an eye on you, they'll kind of clock it. If you're not coming back in a regular time, we know.
You are keeping an eye on everything in that sense. Yeah.
Pretty much. And then they'll ask, do you have enough water? Do you have sunscreen? We try to get them prepared.
Yeah.
So they know what they're getting into. So right now, luckily, the weather's more mild. As it gets hotter, we get more concerned. If we think somebody's, not prepared and it's going to be a hot one, we will offer them water. Like, that's what we're there for.
What are some of your most popular 250 miles of trails. What are some of your popular trailheads?
So I would say Gateway is the most popular.
Okay.
I think it's because it's more centrally located
Yeah.
and it's got a huge variety. But it just depends on what you're into. So if you want a really tough hike and you're like fitness and I want to get my heart rate up, Sunrise and Tom's Thumb is your way. But right now it's wildflower season.
Oh.
Because of the rains and the heat, they are out early. They are beautiful. Granite Mountain right now, the Loop, gorgeous.
Okay.
Marcus Landslide, gorgeous. So if you're
And
in
the little less known ones, they're less busy to get there for us locals.
Yes. So
Okay.
it just depends on what you're looking for. But those are the two right now.
Do you have a favorite?
Mine is Granite Mountain.
Okay. Say it proudly. I love it.
Yes.
We talked about the stewardship. It really is a community effort to put this on. More volunteers than paid people make sure this conservancy stays as beautiful and what it is. So it says the philanthropy is essential to protecting the preserve. So how can we as a community continue to make sure that we have this in our backyard?
Absolutely. I mean, not only can you enjoy it, but you can support it. We have a membership. We'd love for everybody to join it. We can't do this for free. Like, it takes a lot of training, the shirts, like everything. The city supports us as well, but it only goes up to a certain point.
Right.
And then 90% of our fundraising is individuals. And in fact, a lot of our stewards are actually major donors to us. So, the people who are working and volunteering their time also financially support us, but we don't want to just rely on them. If you love what, Scottsdale has to offer, you love the preserve, like, we welcome you to join us as a member.
You talked to Bill about the education system. My kids have gone on field trips. We've met at Gateway Trailhead and they did a hike and they learned from you guys. So the education really is for schools, for individuals and stuff like that. Talk about some of the programs. I know you talked about organized hikes and bike rides, but it's not just that. Y'all have done stargazing or before or something, or star watching. I think there's been animals. There's lots of things that you do in this.
Yeah. So the field trips are very important for the kids. That gets them out there. It exposes them to the beauty. That's our next generation, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to grow up to then take care of the preserve for us. But, we have to do butterfly counts, bird watches, tortoise, telemetry, where we have to make sure that they're healthy. There are so many different programs to keep everything monitored and make sure that the preserve is healthy. So these are all programs that continue for years and years and years. Like, these are not just one-offs.
Yeah.
Like, we now have 10 years of baseline data on the preserve.
That's great.
Yes, and that's what you need to know in order to see those changes. So now that we have that baseline, we are so excited. Our scientists are so excited. So now we know, like, okay, if something is changing, let's go back and look at the last 10 years so that we can see what is the new factor that's in the environment that is causing this change.
Seeing a pattern or something like that.
Absolutely.
So what are you seeing right now when it comes to some of the challenges? Is it climate change? Is it the stress? Is it increased usage because we are, the tourism season's building up so much?
Yeah, so climate change obviously is huge, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that except keep an eye on it, and that's what's really affecting our swallows.
Okay.
But it is human. Like, human interaction is the thing we can control. So staying on the trails is really important. Like, when you go off the trails, you don't understand. You're crushing the biocrust, which is what makes it really healthy, which is what the plants need to survive. So when you're trudging out there, you're crushing what they need to be healthy. So that's one of the things. Picking up after your animals, making sure your dogs are on leashes. All of those just really simple things are the things that, you just have to be mindful of.
Stay on the trails, I know.
Yes.
What excites you most about the future for this?
I mean, there's so many.
Besides the 10-year data that we get to build off of now.
I know. There's so many opportunities, right? Just growing our relationship with the city and seeing where we're going to go on the next step. So the scientists have kind of identified some new things that we can do called super plots to really like take our data to the next level.
Just explain that.
So that's where you go in and you kind of put plots throughout the preserve and really look at the data at a different level. And so we're just like, okay, let's see what the reptiles are doing because we haven't studied those yet.
Okay.
Like, so there's different things we can look at to then elevate our data, which is really exciting. So that's one of the things we're looking at. So the future is endless for us. Like there's so many opportunities. And then for us, like how can we enhance visitor experience and safety? Like different ways of looking at that as well. Because, it's growing. We're more popular and people change. We want to get more kids out there. What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
So there's all kinds of education opportunities that we want to look at. So the sky is the limit at this point.
Yeah. I'm curious, do y'all track animals? Like, do y'all tag them and track them in that sense in any way?
So we do a lot of monitoring.
Okay.
So we have a 60,
Y'all have cameras out in the,
60 wildlife cameras.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we have a whole team of stewards that help us log all of those. And so that's one of the ways we see how they move through the preserve.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things you have to keep an eye on. If the animals are moving through the preserve, they're healthy. If they can't move through the preserve, that's not good for the population.
Okay.
Because that's one of the things they need.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where they're like going to do a feasibility study because they're going to widen Rio Verde Road from 2 lanes to 4 lanes, which means it's more dangerous for the animals to cross.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that look like? So you have to collect data around it and then see where's the best place to then, if we're going to do a bridge or something like that in the future, where would you put it? What does that look like? All the things. And that's, of course, we would partner with the city.
Yeah, you have to. I love that. For someone who wants to get involved, we talked about being a member, doing, being a steward, making donations, getting involved. What are your biggest needs right now?
Right now, we're about to do the Tour to Scottsdale, which is our bike race, which we're so excited about. So that'll be March 28th. So right now, if you're into it, we are still looking for volunteers for that.
Okay.
It takes, if you can believe it, 200 volunteers to run that. Yeah. So we have 150 signed up. So we're still looking for 50.
Okay.
Also, we're still signing up riders. So if you're athletic and you're into bike riding, we ask you to join us.
I love it.
Yeah. So those are our needs right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, unrestricted funds. You can't, do your services if you can't pay the staff. And you can't buy the supplies. And yes.
We'll go get involved before we leave. I have my favorite question for everyone. What is your favorite Scottsdale vibe?
Oh.
And it cannot be the Conservancy because that is your job and you love it and we all know that. So something else outside of that.
I have to say I am a foodie and I do enjoy all the restaurants here. So
do you have a favorite?
I do. It's Buck and Ryder.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
that's great.
Yes.
Great atmosphere, great vibe, great food, great happy hour, by the way, too.
Absolutely. I was just there last night.
See? I love it. Well, thank you, Angie, so much for what you do. I am a huge user of the trails. My husband, like I said, he's an ultra runner, so he's always on the trails, using them everywhere and anywhere. It really is amazing that we have this in our backyard, and we're so lucky, and I take advantage of it, so I encourage everyone else to as well. But before we learn about other things that are going on, let's talk about Jeremy Mueller, our favorite State Farm agent. Life in Arizona moves fast, and getting stressed about insurance coverage is the last thing you need. So give Jeremy Mueller Insurance a call. With over 25 years of serving Scottsdale in 3 local offices, Jeremy and his team know the area and have the know-how to help you with home, auto, life, and business insurance. Get that solid support and great service you deserve with Jeremy Mueller Insurance. You can get in touch with them at jeremymueller.com or call 480-515-5223. Well, there's lots of things happening right now in Scottsdale. Don't forget the Scottsdale Art Walk happens every Thursday, where you can explore galleries in the art district. They're open late. It's really fun. You have the Old Town Farmers Market happening on Saturdays with fresh produce, local goods at the Scottsdale Civic Center. And of course, the Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art always has exhibits going on in Old Town, so check that out. You can find more at experiencescottsdale.com for all of their events. And of course, just go outside and explore what's in the trails in your backyard at the Conservancy. You can go on their website, which we have in the description of this episode, to find out at events and trails that Angie was talking about, the hikes that you can go and enjoy other people. So lots to do. Have a wonderful week, Scottsdale. Keep vibing, and I'll see you around town.